Hi there, and welcome back once again to the Sassy Girl Talk. I am Gifty.
And I am Akofa.
So, on today's episode, we are discussing the title Mrs. The title Mrs. Does the woman have to take the husband's name after marriage? Let's get into it. Okay, so welcome back. A colleague of ours basically wrote an article. He's an academic. He writes for My Joy Online. His name is Muniru Hussein, and then he wrote an article basically talking about why the women need to ditch the name Mrs. or the title. Sorry, so he did an article basically asking women to ditch their title Mrs. So read an excerpt of the article and then we'll react to it.
According to the writer, the Mrs. title, and I quote, it emasculates a woman's so-called femininity and infantilizes her individuality, innate and unalienable capacity to be great all by herself. He also goes forth to say that I do not think your identity as a woman should be submerged in the identity of any human being.
So I think basically the question we are trying to ask ourselves as married women who have basically been married for 10 years,
yes,
using our spouse's surname,
mm-hmm.
Would you say that the use of your spouse name had taken something from you as a woman, or has robbed
Never.
you
And
as a woman?
to begin with, I disagree with Mr. Hussein.
Okay.
I am a woman, a mother, and a wife, and a proud Mrs.
Okay.
Yes, because I think in our previous videos, I've said that when I was ready to marry, my salary could barely do anything.
Yeah.
Right, so I am where I am. I've gotten to this part of my life because of my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? At our age, the truth is every woman, African woman or Ghanaian woman, when you clock a certain age, beyond 30, 35, getting to 40, there is that innate desire to marry or, have a family. So what's in a name that you do not want the Mrs. title? And traditionally, when we get married, even now, it's become a fanfare. The celebration has been taken to a different level. Very expensive marriages. Okay, so the traditional marriage, it symbolizes that you are together. Even the attire you wear. Yeah. In traditional marriage, the attire you wear symbolizes that these are the couple. So you see that the woman will be in kente or whatever fabric she chooses, and there is a little bit of that fabric, so that when people walk to the occasion, they can tell that these are the couple. So this is one.
On that note, he is saying that the notion of oneness, right, as provided in the scripture, implies something much deeper than a mere
name.
Yeah.
So what did he tell us what it means?
Okay. It's more accurate to refer to a union of heart and the mind and purposeful pursuit of your collective and individual endeavor. The issue about women who have achieved a lot in life, who basically have robbed their family, their ancestral lineage of that, how do I say it, that privilege of having to be associated with you.
I don't think so.
So you become a huge person in life, but because you are using your husband's name, your family has been robbed of.
So let me tell you what I usually do.
Privilege.
When I meet a person, and the person introduces him or herself, I quickly asked you. So let me, a typical example. I met a cousin of mine. I didn't even know in my office. So he came there to my office looking for my boss. He mentioned his name, Hilary Senano. That's his name. So the moment he said Hilary Senano, I asked him, where are you from? And he says, I'm Buzume. And I said, I'm related to you. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? I'm related to you. So on that score, he has a point. But the fact that you are in your missus does not mean that you don't know, you've lost the direction to your family house.
Yeah. No, but I also think that in for us women, so when he made the point of us robbing our family of the privilege of that how do I say it, that superiority or whatever that comes with the name, and we robbing our children of that. So if I use my father's name,
yes,
right,
the
so
maiden name,
Amadake,
yes,
if I use that and then I become someone huge like the Oprahs and then the Margaret Thatchers, what happens to my children?
You guys, you still don't understand. So you become an icon, an asset to the nation, to the region, Africa, or even the world. Does it mean that people cannot point and say, that's my auntie, that's my uncle, she comes from my home?
So what's
in a name?
What I want to put out there is that for us women, we will choose our children over any other person at any point in time.
Yes.
Our children bears their father's name.
Yes.
In that sense,
traditionally and customarily.
Yeah, I don't want my child to have to say that, oh, Amadake is my mother. It should be Amma Ketemefi. Once the name is there, my child shouldn't suffer to associate with me or to get the privileges. So I would rather use a name that my child bears, which is my husband's name.
Okay. Right. But yes. So it means you also disagree with the writer.
Oh yeah, I'll pick my husband's name at any time.
Yes.
I would say that currently I have a name crisis.
Yes.
Because then when I go into my names, Enyonam was given to me because of the circumstances surrounding my birth.
Yeah, oftentimes.
Gifty is not my name.
Yeah.
Someone else was named Gifty, and then they thought that, well, once I'm also a girl, the girl next door is named Gifty, so the name was transferred to me. Amma because I am a Saturday, and Dake because that's my family name. Now, but because I told my dad that I'll be changing my name as soon as I get married, now I'm married, I've changed my name all right. And I was fine with the name change until he died. And later on, I was like, so let me say that I'm in a crisis because I'm missing my father. I'm trying to hold on to the darker part, right? But not because I eventually want to change my name, but I just feel like, so maybe I don't know whether it's guilt or because I'm missing him or etc. But you realize that letting go of the darker has become much more difficult for me now than it was when I got married.
Okay. So my one other question I want to ask you is that by changing your name to Amma Ketemepi now, when you go to Ho, do people recognize you?
Of course.
Yes. Your secondary school, the tertiary education, do people still relate to you?
Oh yeah.
So what's in the name again?
Yeah, so at the end of the day, I think for us women,
yes,
and these are the issues with feminism, etc. For us women, when it serves us well, we don't have a problem with it. So using our husband's name, to Chief Mrs. Mrs. Doctor and all that, we are happy.
In other jurisdictions, like in Nigeria,
and even us.
Yes.
So you go to somewhere, oh, that's my husband.
Yes.
You know, that's my husband.
Yes.
We want to thrive on their name.
Yes.
But once we have become something, then this kind of questions start coming up. Why should my husband be the one that enjoys my name.
So
But when it serves us,
I understand
we
what
don't
you
ask
mean.
those questions.
I understand what you mean. So behind every successful man is a woman, and vice versa. So now there are very few instances where people have regretted having the misses, especially people in academia.
Yeah.
And I'll use one example. Now, the Professor Elsie Kaufman,
Okay.
you know she's a divorcee now.
Yeah.
Yes. So now she still uses or holds on to the Kaufman because she's published in that name.
Yeah.
So that is the reason
academics,
yes.
Yeah.
But even irrespective of it, what is
So
a name?
when I realized that with the name, so per the law, after a divorce, your husband can legally, he has every right to demand that you drop his name.
Well,
Per our laws.
Okay.
So I joked about it with my husband. And I joked about it in the sense that I will not drop it.
For better, for worse.
Even if there is a divorce,
Yes.
I won't drop it.
So,
So
you are in for the long.
So that
I'm here for
has come
good.
to stay.
I'm here for... Well, your husband should be proud that you are here for good. That's what it all means.
Because for some of us, we'll be at a disadvantage should we change it.
Yeah. I don't even see it as a disadvantage.
No, but I look at the publications we are putting out.
What's the use of an affidavit?
But it really doesn't hold. Is it in every circumstance that you're going to? So
someone
is seated in their office, Googled your name.
Yeah.
The person is not going to ask where is that.
They see two people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, yes, it's difficult in our case, but I think the purpose of our marriage is not necessarily for it to end in divorce.
No.
If it does, we'll find a way around it.
Yes, you'll find a way around
it. And I think those are things that partners also need to talk about. If I'm taking your name, just in case there is something like that, I'm not dropping it.
But who will talk about this then at the beginning of the marriage?
Exactly. When you are enjoying it.
When you are enjoying
so,
the honeymoon and
even
good times.
I saw a publication on CNN that says that even with all the femininity, etc., in America, you see that 80% of the women have taken their husband's name.
Oh, yes.
So in a place that you have the Me Too movement, you have the feminism, etc., thriving, you still see that. Look at Jennifer Lopez. She just got married.
Yes.
And she changed her name to Jennifer Affle.
Oh, okay.
She's already changed it.
I see.
Right. So the issue of name and robbing our family of an icon. I choose my children over my family. I'm sorry, but I choose my children. Yeah. And the name that my children uses, that is what I will use. And per our laws, they are supposed to use their father's name.
Of course. So back to the issue of I've even lost my train of thoughts. Yeah. So back to this same issue. Using the title has both historical and cultural, implications. Yeah. Okay, they are deep rooted in history and culture. In that, back to the issue of the Dr. Mrs. and Prof. Mrs. and Chief Mrs., which is used in Nigeria and other parts. You realize that in the olden days, because the role of women was, be a mother, be a wife, take care of the children. And women too were not that educated, and the man was pushed, given all the resources to thrive. The woman had to use her husband's name to gain some respect and an identity. Yeah. An identity. Yeah. Legitimacy, yes. Even back home in Ghana, in our tradition, okay, where when there is no will, and our parents, time, somewhere 50, 60, 70 years back, they were not properly married. They don't have any legal certificates saying that this is Mr. and Mrs. So they didn't really bother with getting the man's name. When there is a loss of a spouse, especially the man, unfortunately, the woman suffers.
Absolutely.
The woman suffers. And my mother is, one victim of those things. So please, young women out there, that is why nowadays people use their code names.
Yeah.
They say maybe Mensa Doku or Mensa something hyphenated names. If you feel you want to do that, why not? But please, let's not be what's the word?
We shouldn't buy into the wokeness.
Yes, let's not buy into the wokeness. Let's be serious. You are married, you are Mr. and Mrs.
It makes it portable. It makes it. Oh yeah.
Don't we sometimes see our old class maybe forget their name, but you remember them?
Yeah.
So far as there is an identity, somebody can point and say, "I know you." Come on, what's in a name?
And there is no. It's no big deal if men use our name to thrive. For centuries,
there is
we've been using their
it.
names to open doors for ourselves as women. So if the ball is changing, I don't think that there is anything. You should be a proud wife if your name opened doors for your husband.
Yes, and your husband should be also very proud of you. Yeah.
So,
don't we have female ministers in other countries, heads of states and the rest? Yes.
So I think that the wokeness is enough. Let's just allow some things to
be serious.
Anyway, so that's it from us. Let us know what you think. Leave a message in the comment section, and please do subscribe. If you want to reach us directly, we are on Instagram on the Sassy Girl Talk. You can just send us a message, and then we'll also leave our email address on there, so you can send us a message. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.